And in short, my position on Syria is, don't know. But one thing I am sure of, the situation is very serious. Boom, I still got it. Next question. Yes, Bryce. My position on Tucson and its inhabitants remains the same. Tucson can suck it, and you can go ahead and suck it for asking. Next question. Diego. Yes, I did fart.
Hi everybody, I'm Peter Travers and welcome to Popcorn, where we tell you what's poppin' in the pop culture. And there is a Fox TV show that's out now that is called The Last Man on Earth. And it's odd because it's a story about a guy who was the last man on Earth. He was alive in Tucson. He was depressed, horny, extremely lonely, and suicidal. And it was a comedy. Will had been nominated for The Last Man on Earth for an Emmy for Best Comedy Series, Best Comedy Actor. What is so funny about you being this last miserable, dark man on Earth?
I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out. Like, that's why it's writing this show is all in one. It's incredibly fun and incredibly painstaking at the same time. It's you know, it's harder to figure out what you're going to do because there are endless possibilities, and you got to pick one. So you just want to make sure you're picking the right area, and every once in a while you'll get off track, and we try to right the ship again. But
you get it back on track. Now I'm sad as I'm watching you to see that you are now can't separate the role from your own life, which is
this is for
really
the role.
tragic.
I promise I would not grow this thing to this length. I mean, you know, I'm never fully.
You're totally
shaven.
OCD. We've talked about this before.
But not with beard hair.
I just have to just do a little yank.
Get in
this.
there. It is
It's
your.
real. It is real. It is real, people.
Oh yeah. I just went on The View and they put a bunch of pink stuff in it. So this is the perfect time to touch it because it has never been cleaner. I've
so
shampooed
nice.
the stuff out. Yeah.
I will somehow bring this back to the darkness in your soul that begins with this, because you're Phil Miller on this show.
Yes.
Right? So your two partner guys have those names. One is Phil Lord, the other is Christopher Miller.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Lego movie guys.
Yep. 21, 22
They
Jump
came
Street,
up with something, and then you came in and said, yes, I am going to make something of this show. I love this idea.
Well, we all came up with it together. It was, you know, we have been friends for, God, 18 years, something like that. And they gave me my first acting job on Clone High. I was a voice in that show. It was an MTV animated show. And we've been friends for years, but this, you know, they got a deal at the Studio 20th, and they said, do you want to come in and write something? So we thought up ideas together. We landed on this one, and I went out and wrote it up. But we all collaborated
did it fast, didn't
pretty
you?
heavily. Yeah, pretty quick. Yeah.
This is what people want to hear. They think they could turn around, take a long weekend, turn out a pilot.
Well, it wasn't that fast. You know, once we came up with the idea, the actual arc of the season came out pretty quickly. But that was just a very general, broad strokes document. You know, maybe 10 pages long. But most of it we stuck to.
Did you always know it would get crowded for The Last Man on Earth?
Yes.
Yes.
We always knew. We knew roughly how many people were coming in. We knew, you know, girl, boy. And then we thought there was maybe a group of 4. We thought maybe a kid was coming in. There was going to be some pregnancy stuff in the first season that we decided let's hold off on that. But it's interesting how stuff changes around. We did a cow instead of a kid.
You know, it happens. That would be my next choice. I
Yeah.
would just say, let's go to the cow. Let's definitely do that. But look at your roles that you play on this show, season 1 and season 2. Now, you're not the showrunner of season 2. You took that task and gave it elsewhere.
Yep.
Was it too much? Was it making you crazy?
It's an insane amount of work. Yeah. I mean, it's every second of it's
You're acting, you're writing?
Acting, writing, I'm in on the editing, you're on the set, and it's not walk briskly to the editing room, it's run everywhere. And it sounds like poor me, but it's I'm doing what I love, but it's a tremendous amount of work. It's all day Saturday, all day Sunday, I don't see family, I don't see friends. It's like a careful what you wish for, but it's also, I get to work with, some of my best friends. I get to create a show that I'm really proud of, and the hard part was that we made it for spring, our first season. So when Fox came back and said we want to do it for the fall, and we want to do 18 instead of 13, then that basically gave us no downtime.
But it was you were a writer before you were doing any of this. You weren't doing stand-up,
Well,
right?
I started at the Groundlings and got my first job from sketches that I had written for the Groundlings. So I was starting to work my way through and writing at the same time. So right when I finally made it to the performance level of the Groundlings, I got a job on my first sitcom and then went to Letterman and kept writing. I thought that I was just going to be a writer.
I thought you got fired from Letterman.
I did.
What was that? Did you do? Where did you go when something like that happened?
It was tough because Letterman is, they're. I would say my main influences were, definitely Saturday Night Live, Steve Martin, Peter Sellers, and Letterman. Letterman might have been and all those four.
How did he do it? Did he just say, "Well, I'm sorry, it's not working out"?
I just wasn't good at it. I always wonder if it's so my sensibility, and then I came in there and I just couldn't figure it out. I think I was too stressed. There was too much importance on it because it was this holy grail of a show for me. I wanted it to work so badly, and I think I just became this ball of stress, and I couldn't, I couldn't be free to like really deliver what they needed to be delivered. So I wonder if I was older, if I had more experience, would it have worked out? Because it was my second job, and it affected my decision-making process for SNL, because I had always heard that SNL was a really tough process also, and I just, when I got that opportunity to go to SNL, I was thinking, oh, is this going to be another Letterman experience where this is a dream of mine and I'm going to just not do it, and then I've crushed two of my dreams. So
let me crush all of my ambitions. Yeah.
And I turned down the show the first year that I got the job.
But it didn't happen.
Well, thank God they came back the year later, and thank God I pulled my hat out of my butt.
What do you remember about it? The last thing you did on SNL?
I remember the last thing I didn't do. There was a sketch that got cut that I'm sure if Lauren knew it was my last show, he would have put it in.
Lauren didn't know it was your last show when it was your last show?
Nope. I didn't know it was my last show. I went into the summer thinking that was right when MacGruber came out.
Oh, okay.
And MacGruber, it was not the smartest time to leave the show. It was like, but you got a team of agents and managers giving you advice, and they had, for several years before, said, why don't you leave and try to do other stuff? And I said, I really want to stay. I love it here. And this was the first time that it made sense what they were saying. They said, look, MacGruber, you're not going to get a chance to do another SNL movie. You saw how that turned out. So they said, we'll understand if you want to go back, because you love it there, but at some point you're going to have to take a chance, try to see if you can get anything else going. So I said, okay, you got a solid point. At some point I got to see if anything else is out there, and I didn't think anything would happen. I thought I'll go back to writing, and I love writing, so that's fine.
And you have that, but you always do that. I mean, and then a couple of years ago you do Nebraska.
Yeah,
blow everybody away. You're making a movie with Alexander Payne and Bruce Dern, and are really holding your own in this, in a serious role.
That was the most unexpected experience. My agent said, hey, put yourself on tape for Alexander Payne. He wants to see your tape. And of course, that made it seem to me like, oh, Alexander Payne had specifically requested to see my tape. But after getting to know him, I just realized, oh, she probably just said, hey, would you take a look at Will Forte's tape if he sent one in? And he said, yeah, sure, because he'll take a look. He would take a look at, you know, you go pick anybody out on the street. He's so open in the casting world. He'll look at anybody's tape. So I'm thinking, Alexander Payne wants to see my tape, which is absolutely not the case. So I finally agreed to, you know, be at home, and my girlfriend helped me tape it, sent it in, and then it was just every step of it. I thought, there's no way I have any shot. Didn't hear anything for about 5 months, and then out of the blue, oh, Alexander Payne liked your tape. What? Oh my God! So that was just a win for me right there. But I thought, oh, it's not going to go any further. Then he wants to see you read it in person. I went in there, felt good about it, but it's like, there's no way I can get this role. I'm freaking Will Forte. I'm like, you know, I barely get my sketches on in the last 5 minutes of SNL. There's no way I'm gonna get this role. And even when he called me and told me that I got the role, I still thought, there's no way Paramount is gonna let this happen. He's gonna eventually have to.
It's all
let
that
me
confidence
go.
you have in yourself that it was going to, and then it happened, and then you went, it did?
Yeah. It was just a magical experience.
Well,
but
let
I'm so
me,
thankful.
though, as we come, I'm going to come back to The Last Man on Earth and to you looking at you as not as a writer, not as anybody show running anything, you just as an actor. Is there a moment in Last Man on Earth where you look at you and say, I got close to what I wanted to be, and I wanted this character to be?
We spent a lot of time writing the pilot because it was Fox was stressed out because it was just very different, and they were so supportive. But they were rightly nervous about it, and we were nervous about it. But that episode really was. I'm really proud of it, and
Good.
and I'm proud of all of them. But that one I lived with for the longest because it was the germ of the idea, and Chris and Phil getting to direct that, getting to work with Kristen for the first time, and it was a very special. The whole thing's been special, but that was before the workload just sat on me.
We end in song on this show, always.
Oh, okay.
So just let's take us out in song.
In any particular
Anything,
song?
you can't do karaoke because we don't have somebody else singing, so you can't.
Okay,
do
let's see. I think I've sung James Ingram too many times. Okay, just pick a song
Just
and
do
sing
it.
The heat is on. The heat is on. The heat is on. It's on the street. Woo-hoo! The heat is on.
Wow! All
That
right.
wasn't my best. That wasn't my finest.
I
I feel like I should have done
it was
more-
pretty powerful. It kind of scared me just a little bit, which is what it should do.
Okay, good.
Thank you.